So they never cleaned it. It dried by the end of the show. When they put the new bunkhouse together, they put the old stage on the ceiling. And I'm like, there's the period.
Welcome to Room 6, the channel dedicated to the local Las Vegas music scene and the people that make it, including this guy and me. I'm Josh, and today my guest brings something a little different to the channel. Besides writing for the Orange County Music News, founding Viva La Ska Radio and the Viva La Ska Vegas Music Festival, and operating the Soul Shakedown Dance Party, he's also DJ'd, promoted, and been in multiple punk and ska bands, and is here today to talk about his newest venture, Mixed Tape Records, a record label which just released its first vinyl record after only 48 days in business?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
Right on. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But in the meantime, please welcome to the channel the man, the myth, the entity known as JR Ska Boss.
Yeah, hello.
Josh
hello.
Coutts.
Yep. Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey! So, I would normally say introduce yourself, tell them what you're doing in the band, but
Yep.
not doing a band today.
No band stuff, sorry.
Yep. But that's cool. We will be having acts from his label come in at a later date and do a bunch of interviews and performances, and that'll be cool. In the meantime, before we get anything else, if any musicians out there want to contact you about maybe getting on the label,
Yep.
How do they do that?
They can hit me up, go through the Mixtape Records page. So just look up Mixtape Records. You can find it on Facebook or Instagram. Message us that way. All the email stuff is on there. Go through that way. You can either go to mixtaperecords.com. Message us that way as well.
I'll make sure there's links down the doobly-doo, as John Green would say.
Yep.
And congrats on the new label, man.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Welcome to the channel. Well, with a shot? Yeah, I guess.
Oh, that's good.
And there's a build, right?
Yep.
So I've just broken his cherry on
I like that.
Captain Morgan Cannon Blast. Done a review here. And it's only good cold, but there's a burn, right?
Yep.
This on a cold night? Ooh.
But it's not a horrible burn, but it's a nice burn. It's tasty.
Don't abuse your alcohol.
No.
Neglect is abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interview's off to a great start.
Yep. That's how you start.
Whew. Boy. Suburban Resistance, I introduced them to that. And Kevin, the singer, takes everybody's dregs and pours it into one. I'm like, oh, you're conservation. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Feel good?
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's yummy. Nice and warm now.
Nice. All right. So, can you speak a little bit about the tagline, Something for Everyone?
It was actually, we were looking for something. I was actually talking to someone on a radio show, actually, and it was like a last minute, hey, can you be on my show? And I was like, yeah, cool, no worries. They're like, I'm trying out. I don't have a name of the radio show, but we're doing this radio show. We're going to do all this. There is a dog saying hello.
Security is wondering who the hell this is.
Yep.
Chloe, come here, nutball. Let's get you on camera. She's done, by the way. That's all she does. Look at this thing. Look at this. Look at this. Can you speak to the tagline, Something for Everyone?
Something for Everyone was something we were going to be. I was asked to be on like a podcast or radio show, ended up being a YouTube show, which still has no name, which is kind of funny. But it was like hey, I'm going to try and start this channel, which never really took off. But they asked, hey, question, what's going to be on your label? And I was like, personally, I grew up liking everything. I grew up liking punk and classic rock and ska, reggae and hip hop and rockabilly. You name it, I grew up. Even polka, for Christ's sake. I enjoy polka.
Polka.
You know, I love polka. And so when you go through that, and, I said, personally, I'd like to have something for everyone. And then my wife was there, and she was like, I like that. That's for the label. We were just getting ready to talk about launching it. We were still in the process of doing it. And I was like, you know what? When we do the Mixtape Records, why don't we do Mixtape Records, something for everyone? We're literally going to have everything on our label.
And I like the fact that a lot of times when you try to approach a record label, especially more the local indie level things,
yep.
You're like, what do they have?
Yeah.
There you go. Something for everyone. What are they accepting? All right. During your tenure in various bands, you've opened for some big name bands, such as Sublime and Madness out of the UK.
Yep.
How did that shape your approach to promoting and putting on shows? And has that influenced how you run your record label?
A lot of it has. It was, I've always was in a smaller band. I never really got a lot of the status as far as being obviously Madness or Sublime status.
The local support.
You're right. I was always the local. I mean, I did get to tour when I was in a couple bands in the Bay Area. We did start selling out 2,000 or 3,000 spot venues.
Wow.
And it was fun. But the one band I did that as was kind of a joke. I did it as a like you can't write a good pop punk song, and I did.
What was the name of it?
11-teen.
11-teen.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard of 11-teen, he's the guy.
So it was kind of stuff I did kind of a joke. There was stuff there that was just kind of like, cool, whatever. Mm-hmm. I did it. We were popular, and then I moved here and kind of left.
What do you play?
I sing, play drums, bass, guitar, little piano, play violin.
Did you guys change positions in 11-teen, or you just were frontman?
No, I was a singer. I was just frontman. I literally just sang
Same.
for it, and it was, hey, can you do this? Some of it I did do a little bit of piano work and stuff like that.
Cool.
So,
can you talk about, actually, what's your take on ska versus punk and subgenres in general?
Ska versus punk, I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, ska has been out really since the 50s, and it predated reggae.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know that.
Nope.
Everyone goes, oh, it's from reggae. Nope. Reggae is from ska, and it was dub and everything in between.
Well, reggaeton is from reggae.
Right, and punk rock, you got to figure. I mean, reggae or ska predated that. So when you think about it, all the subgenres, there's ska, ska punk, two-tone, third wave. Now there's a fourth wave. There's traditional.
Right.
There's everything in between. All the punk. There's pop punk, hardcore punk. Everything in between of that.
I don't even know all the subgenres.
Yeah,
I mean, never mind metal.
Yeah,
metal gets into a whole other splinter.
Metal has 25 different things now too, and I'm like, it's not just metal.
Right.
As when I was a kid, it was metal. All of it was metal. When they started introducing speed metal, but it was like, okay, metal.
What are they for?
Yeah,
Slayer. I have a little box over here that if I say its name, it's going to listen to what I say. But I told it, hey, just as a joke, I said, play some Slayer, and it played some power ballad thing. I don't know. I was expecting, what are they for?
Yep.
And nope. Anyway, moving on. Can you talk about your college years studying skanking at Ska University?
Ooh, yes.
And what was your favorite class?
Ooh, favorite class was definitely dancing in a band 101. I was
Mighty Bosstones, anybody?
Pretty much. I was in Santa Cruz. I was in a band that was in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and I was not in the band. I was the dancer for the band.
Like you got paid?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But I was their version of the Bosstone. I was called the Creakin', and we had two of us that danced on the stage and wore overalls and suspenders and sometimes nothing, depending on what we were wearing.
Oh my gosh.
But it got to the point where I got so popular doing that in Santa Cruz, because I'm from Santa Cruz, and I got so popular, people wanted I went to one show in a basement, and it was with Slow Gherkin from Santa Cruz.
Ooh.
And I took off my shoes, and it was the checkered Vans, and they were destroyed, dirty. I've had them on for 3 years. Picked them up, and people, girls fought over my shoes.
Live the dream. Chase that dream,
I
kids.
signed them through and I mean,
I should have auctioned them or something.
Yeah, I might as well. I guess I didn't realize I was Santa Cruz famous at one time.
No, honestly, that's where you're we should do a benefit.
Yeah.
And I should auction these things off.
Yeah, that was the one band that never made it big. They were huge in Santa Cruz or the Bay Area,
mm-hmm.
and then it didn't really expand past that.
Well, Bay Area in general, because I used to live in the Bay Area, and I started kind of dipping my toes into music and performing. Yeah. It's not the same as here.
No.
That's for sure, I'm sure. No. But it's not even the same as, say, Southern California.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's if you put on a show and people show up, they came for your show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no other reason they're there except, booze.
Yeah.
But you can do a show in an Ethiopian restaurant. I performed acoustic once in an Ethiopian restaurant.
Yeah, they have those. They have a lot of the jazz bars that play ska and punk, which is kind of funny, but they're jazz clubs. So yeah, I get it. Or the blue with all the blues clubs they have there, but ska bands will play there.
Nice. Speaking of which, on your label, how many ska bands are there currently?
Right now, we have Smoke and Mirrors Sound System.
Excuse me?
Smoke and Mirrors Sound System, Unsteady, Monkey, Joker's Republic.
Okay, and then
Robert Stokes solo. Yeah, 5.
Now, what Robert Stokes solo? What does he do solo?
Robert Stokes mostly plays acoustic joke ska.
Okay.
So he does like acoustic ska, but he does a lot of improv. And he does songs. If you follow his page, he writes a new song every day. Every day he'll write a song.
Damn.
And he released an album that was 98 songs for $3. And he writes, they're little like minute and a half.
I was going to say, they got to be short.
Yeah, minute to a minute and a half songs. He has like 3 or 4 that were like 3.5 minutes, but the average song was like a minute or so. Everything from ska to ska pop to like this indie to like this space ska, like this crazy shit that he threw space noises and video game shit. It was awesome.
Talking about subgenres.
Yeah, it was. He kind of made up his own little thing. It's almost like joke improv ska.
See, I was going to say, like, oh, is he like ska karaoke or something? But no, he's like there's a ska backbone, and then every single thing I can possibly throw at it.
He literally puts everything. He writes his own stuff.
That's great.
If you ask him, he will do improv, and he does amazingly. Give him some subgenre, he will do it.
Right.
And it's like, cool. He does it at a show, give me something.
Nice.
He'll write a song on the spot all the time. It's awesome.
Now, eventually, we're going to get him on the channel, along with some of the other acts you mentioned.
Yep.
Definitely subscribe if you haven't. Click down there. You know the drill. Ring the bell. You'll be notified when that video gets posted. As a casual Whovian, I'm often surprised how many musicians seem to be fans of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And you are a fellow sci-fi nerd.
Yep.
With a strong Whovian Doctor Who bent.
Yep.
Based on your postings. Who is your doctor, and why isn't it John Hurt?
Actually, I do like John Hurt. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, as soon as they tangent time. As soon as he was revealed, you're like,
yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio, like, yeah, you're just like, oh my god.
Yep.
Because legend, but also, what if that episode was your first Doctor Who, and you get exposed to the War Doctor? Any other episode, you're gonna be disappointed.
Yep, pretty much. I gotta admit, I have to catch up on a lot of Doctor Who.
I honestly, halfway through Peter Capaldi.
Yep.
When Clara left, the writing got so ridiculous. There was a dinosaur in London or something, and the writing got so to the point where I'm like, I don't want to show this to anybody anymore. I can't. I just can't. And I stopped watching, and I haven't watched it since. I'm well aware about Jodie Watley. I'm well aware that there's a new Doctor going to be happening. I think they're tagging a black actor.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, kudos, go for it. I just was like, at least they got the ginger.
Yeah.
But yeah, how long have you been watching? Like since just 9?
More or less. I watched the original series with my dad, and then I didn't watch for...
You watched the black and white?
Yeah.
I started watching the black and white after discovering 9 and 10.
But see, I grew up watching that, but I used to follow that up with Time Tunnel. Ooh. So if you ever watched the Time Tunnel, it was a one series. They only did one season of the show, and I own it on DVD.
It's ringing a bell, but I don't know why.
So if you... Doctor Who, Quantum Leap, and like Hawaii Five-0 all had like a fucking birth child, that's what you have.
Okay.
It's like they go into time, Quantum Leap style, kind of jump around from time to time, do some of their shit, but it's very cop-like in a sci-fi fashion.
Okay.
It's awesome.
It sounds awesome. I can't believe I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's a show from the 60s, so I used to watch the original Doctor Who and then Time Tunnel, and then...
But who was your doctor,
though? Definitely Hurt, sure.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your first, of the rebirth of Doctor Who? I should say, no. Who was the first Doctor you ever saw?
Definitely the original. Definitely.
John... Harry. Wow,
yeah.
We just embarrassed ourselves.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the original. I just remember that watching it with my dad and my grandfather. So I used to watch those all the time. But I grew up with that.
Now, it had always been there in the periphery of my life.
Yep.
But when it came back, it was, Eccleston. Yep. It was 9, it was 10.
Yep.
It was, for me, it was Eccleston and Billy Piper.
Yep. A lot of people, I know it's funny talking to people how much they're either not into it, because I'm also more of a Trekkie than into Doctor Who.
You didn't post anything about Trek.
Oh no, I'm a huge Doctor Who.
You mixed your Lord of the Rings with Whovian.
Yep.
Yep. In this house, my house is a house divided a bit because I was Doctor Who.
Yep.
And I got my wife interested, and she bought me a little Dalek keychain. I have a big Dalek plastic Yahtzee container.
Yep.
And she bought me some movie stuff, but I was like, I don't watch it anymore. The writing's gotten really weird. But Trek.
Yeah.
I used to watch I watched, I want to say every episode up until after Enterprise, like halfway through the series Enterprise.
Yeah.
Catherine Janeway. Anyway, we are way off track here.
Oh yeah. It's all right. I could talk about that for a minute too.
Riveting music content. So you're also a horror fan.
Diehard horror fan, yeah.
Now, what was the first movie that broke your fragile little mind?
Shit. Definitely The Exorcist when I was 4.
That'll do it.
Yeah, the original Exorcist, and then followed up by Nightmare on Elm Street.
The first one?
Yeah, because it came out in 1984.
Right. I mean, that was the thing, like, Nightmare on Elm Street, you go to, like, sleepovers as a teenager or whatever, and you put on that.
Yeah, we did that. The original Alien, stuff like that. A lot of Alfred Hitchcock. A lot of Alfred Hitchcock in our house. A lot of more suspense and horror shit that got me into that.
So, for those of you that maybe aren't old enough to understand what we're talking about, Alfred Hitchcock, murder mystery, TV series, black and white. I mean, you can picture him walking into his silhouette. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, The Birds is still one of my favorites because it's one. Look at it this way: it's like a horror film that what if it was actually real and it has the possibility of actually being real.
The Birds was an episode that, again, we're going way off topic.
Yeah.
The Birds was an episode to me that could have been a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah.
It's just out there, and we're not even. It's not even getting a top Twilight Zone, but for me, the horror, if you can call it that, was Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Because it was all that suspense, mental horror. The gore stuff.
It definitely just fucked with you more.
Oh, yeah.
It was
once I hit, my 20s, any gore movie, whatever, Texas Chainsaw, whatever, you name it, was just kind of like, whatever.
I haven't seen anything that scared me in probably 35 years, probably.
Right. Like, horror movies, I think, are aimed at children, but they're not allowed to watch them.
Yeah, there isn't anything really worth a darn now. It's like I'm trying to watch it and going, all right. Like,
actually, I promise we'll get back to music stuff. Mrs. Peregrine's House of Unusual...
was actually interesting, yeah.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
My daughter at the time was, I don't know, a single digit. And that was her first, exposure to anything remotely scary in a movie. It
was rather creepy for a child's...
Yeah. And those hollows, the second she saw them and started, it was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. We're like, come on. We're trying to force her to watch it. Like, come on, kid. And she couldn't watch... was it Nightmare Before Christmas all the way through?
Oh yeah,
until
my son
she was like 10.
Hates it. He was like the claymation. But then again, I just sat down and watched technically 2 versions of it with my now 9-year-old daughter.
Well,
she thinks Pennywise is one of the funniest people on the planet.
Now I'm down. Like, I've never seen it because I don't need to. The internet has made it so I
Right.
I'm like, well, I don't want to watch that.
Big Stephen King fan, so it was like I've got to meet him. I had to walk him around for a week.
I think I read it.
Yeah,
as a youngster.
Very thick book.
Oh yeah. Oh, most of Stephen King's books.
Oh yeah, but he also goes and puts way too much detail on things.
All right, and we're back to music.
Yeah.
Let's talk shows. What's your favorite show memory? Being in a band at a show. And it could be like something crazy or an amazing show or just a show you couldn't believe you played or whatever.
Well, again, it was when I was less being in the band, but more so the dancer. And it was Santa Cruz at the Catalyst, and we got to do a show that was the band that we were going to open, but it was like 6 bands on the bill. So it was the Sneaky Creekins, the band that I danced for.
Okay.
Slogurkin, Siren 6, Hepcat, Slackers, and Monkey.
Monkey, who's on your label?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a callback.
Yeah, 1990.
They've been going that long, huh?
Yes, they've been around since 96.
Right on.
So, but I've been following them since then, since I was a 16-year-old child and kid, teenager, and run around doing that. And
now you get to tell them what to do. No, I'm just kidding.
Pretty much, yeah. But it was that was probably the most memorable, but it was also a $3 show. So anyone that got to go to that, back in the day, they did $3 Thursdays. And it was $3 for these fucking bands that now, if I tried to book them on a show, like Hepcat would get $50,000.
I was going to say, like 3,000,
Yeah, back in 1997 or whatever, they were for 96, 97, they were getting, it was $3. They probably made whatever they took at the door.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Every one of those bands is a headliner now. Everyone on the bill was a headliner.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, from favorite show, let's talk favorite venue in Vegas. Ooh. Is there something you've seen or you played at or done a show? What's your favorite venue in Vegas?
I'm biased. Why? I'm biased. The old bunkhouse, not the thing in the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. There's something because I used to book it 15 years ago when it was a tiny shithole stage this big, and you'd somehow get 9-piece bands that fit on a stage this big. And I think one of the most memorable moments is we had one of the punk bands played, and it was a girl band, and she was like, "Hey, I just had my period," and no joke, she dropped period blood all over the fucking stage. And they never cleaned it; it dried by the end of the show. When they put the new bunkhouse together, they put the old stage on the ceiling, and I'm like, "There's the period."
Oh my god, that's awesome.
So they never knew. We never cleaned it. It was just the show kept playing. All the punk bands played. It just kind of dried and sat there. But no joke, when they moved it, I'm like, staying still there.
Anybody who's been to the bunkhouse during that time period, now you know.
Yeah. So if you ever stood under that stage, what was there or is still there, there's period blood still.
Well, now it's closed down, unfortunately.
Yep. Yeah. If you ever get a chance and that stage flooring is still there, look at that. There is a period stain right in the middle.
The first... 1 or 2 times I went there was that era, and then the listening tree happened. Yeah, and this giant tree with all these headphones, which I was like, "That's great and all, but what if it rains?" Yeah. But every single pair of headphones had a different style of music.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting actually.
It's really awesome. I'm listening to African music. I'm listening to ska. Yeah. It was really.
I will say,
cool.
I did like some of the newer things they added to it.
Right.
It's so funny. Like I remember passing out so many times in that. Part when that was all that tree and stuff was there was a parking lot, and before all of that stuff was there, and it was like it's crazy to me. That was probably my favorite venue, but I also helped be a part of it for the last 10 years. I didn't get why
there was a truck parked there though.
Food truck?
No. There was just objet d'art.
It's an art thing.
Yeah, and I didn't get that personally.
Yeah, I don't get. I'm old though.
Yeah, we are the old.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, for me, performing wise. My favorite venue, I'm gonna have to say, as a frontman, House of Blues.
Yep, House of Blues is usually pretty solid.
Only because that was the first time I'd ever played with 2 sound guys.
Yep.
One on the wings and one out front. And I could hear everything.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. A long time ago, my first band I was a frontman for, we did the San Diego Coach House before it shut down or changed locations. And that was the first time I ever heard everything in the band because we used to rehearse in a small room.
Yeah.
I sang out of a bass amp, and I got really good at hearing.
Everybody sang out of a bass amp.
At some point,
it seemed to work.
But I got really good at this is how it should feel when I sing these notes.
Yeah.
I got really good at that, and also hearing what everybody else is doing. We have keyboardists and bass, and then you get on a stage where you can actually hear everything. You're just like, hey,
you're so used to terrible bars or whatever, and then you get up there and go, what's with this? There's a monitor?
Same band.
What's that?
I made a video about this. Hey, it's up here. 2 drunks and a bartender. We played to literally 2 drunks and a bartender in San Diego.
Yeah.
And at one point, one of the drunks gets up. He had enough of us playing our original rock. We sounded like Eddie Vedder singing with the Stones.
Nice.
I would be the Eddie Vedder part. It was the night. What do you want? And he got tired of it, stood up, and on his way out the door, unplugged the distortion pedal.
Nice.
Suddenly the guitars just and we kept playing. And I'm like, what a passive aggressive way to say I hate your music.
Yeah, he's just over it.
But yeah, instead of throwing something or yelling at us. All right. Now, you said you're going on tour off the camera. You said you're going off on tour soon?
Yeah. So we're trying to do a little mini tour with some of the bands from the label. Before the Supernova International Ska Festival.
Which is where?
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah, so it's in Virginia. And we're actually meeting up. It's going to be myself, Monkey from the Bay Area, Joker's Republic from New Jersey, and we're going to meet up with them and about 4 other bands. But I'm going to also be DJing the event since the radio show and the record label are going to be sponsoring it.
Now you're not performing, though.
No, but
other than DJ.
But I'll probably sing with the bands like I've done every time. So as you get up and sing with them, we usually do an end of the night, either a specials tune or something of that nature, but we get everyone on stage to sing.
I have a dream. This channel actually started as, the whole point is to promote the local Las Vegas music scene, because local artists are terrible at promoting themselves, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't a lot of YouTube presence for local artists. Meaning like, channels like mine. Shout out to Into the Pit with Annie, covering that heavy metal hard rock stuff. So one thing I want to do, I've got, anybody who's watched any of my videos knows, got a Patreon page, got a merch shop, room6.shop, got albums out for sale and my own stuff. Any money I make on this channel, and links are down there in the description, by the way, any money I make on this channel is going to supporting the local scene.
Awesome.
And when I say that, what I mean is I want to put on showcases of just go down, okay, here's chronological, who have I interviewed?
Yeah.
If you've been on the channel and you're local, if you can make it, I'm going to put on a showcase of like 5 bands at a time.
Yeah.
Merch, give you merch spots, pay everybody in the bands, which really would be you guys paying the bands.
Yeah, you'd help out. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
And just, I have this dream of like, I'll be the in-between band act
Yeah.
up there, but also just really exposing multiple audiences to multiple genres.
Yeah.
Because of just the nature of my channel, I've had all sorts of stuff in here that you wouldn't necessarily book if you're booking like at a bar.
Yeah.
But for this type of thing, a paid showcase, when's the last time a musician got that?
If you're lucky, you get $20 or $50.
Or you have to sell, it's pay to play. You have to sell tickets, a certain amount of tickets.
And that's 98% of the venues in town now.
And I'm trying to give bands that come on my show an opportunity to make a little money and also sell merch, make new fans, network, whatever, and really just have a great night of local music that isn't, a lot of the negatives that we have to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is my goal, that is my dream. I'd love you if you go to patreon.com/room6 and become a patron. $1 a month.
Yeah.
That's the lowest tier. You get all sorts of cool perks, including a 1 hour unedited, unfiltered podcast where myself and a former drummer of mine named Sean Flume, we talk about all sorts of stuff. We answer listener questions. We talk about whiskeys that we have reviewed in the past. And we just have a good time. But more importantly, $1 a month is going to help the local scene. It's not buying me a gold airplane.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
What's the old joke? I wish I had enough money to buy a solid gold airplane. Why would you want a solid gold airplane? I don't want the solid gold airplane. I want the money. Anywho. So normally this is a point in the show where we talk about, like, what gear are you rocking right now at a show? Doesn't really apply.
Yep.
So instead I want to talk about, let's talk about your record label. You also have a recording studio? Or are you working with one?
I'm working with one. We're working Naked City Studios.
Hey, Naked City.
Yep.
Shout out.
Giving them then we're building our studio right now as we speak. And I'm also building, it'll be a studio and a radio station kind of in the same area. I'm building one.
Very cool. Very cool. Basically taking your history and putting it in a build.
Yep.
Can you talk to any like specs, any, board, or what do you have and what are you putting in the studio? Whet their appetite, basically.
Right now I'm actually just going to kind of mostly Frankenstein a bunch of stuff together. I don't have all the money to make it fancy, so we're doing whatever we can to.
Boutique on the walls?
No, yeah. I got it's always crazy. I always have some really cool stuff in there. Like, I have cool merch from bands, but my equipment until I can upgrade will be probably starting level, what have you. It's, cool donation. Cool, really cheap.
Yeah.
Whatever I can get my hands on at that point. It's just kind of, we're really tearing everything apart and building as we speak. And It's just one of those things I'm trying to build now. And it's just one of those I would love to have our own studio. Until then, I work with the friends in multiple studios they have.
Right.
I want to. It's just a good thing. And it's just, I will always support the local as much as I can. So if it's any of my bands out of the state or country for that matter, I try and hopefully that they support the local in their area. And or if they want to come here, cool, we can do that too. I just support. Yeah.
Circling back to some of the acts on your label, Scotty Dub.
Yep.
From Scotty Dub and the Jellyfish.
Yep.
I'm going to do that again right here.
Yep.
He experienced his first earthquake standing right there.
Oh, nice.
Yep. We were doing an interview and suddenly Vegas had an earthquake and He's like, what was that?
Yeah.
I was just like, I think it was an earthquake because I Bay Area, I'm familiar. This thing literally felt like it moved, this island in front of us. And but he is definitely not ska.
Yep. He had more of a ska-ish back when Jellyfish. Now it's solo.
Yeah, well, yeah, Jellyfish. It didn't strike me so much as ska. Well, there was
ska-ish.
Yeah, ska-ish, ska-like. But yeah, his solo stuff. Well, I just literally today wrote.
That'd be a good band, the Ska-Lights. Not Scotalites, the Ska-Lights.
Skadettes.
Yeah.
Ska Daddy and the Skadettes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just literally wrote today the script where I did a review of Scotty Dub's new EP Boat Home.
Yep.
And definitely subscribe. That video's coming. But he didn't do that on you guys, right?
Nope, it was still something he has stuff he was releasing with another...
Right, because the timing...
Yep.
I was just like, there's no way he did this with you guys unless he literally was like day one.
No, I mean, I've known Scotty for about 4 years now. 3 or 4 years. And then he was like, we announced, he goes, hey man, I would love to be part of your stuff. And I'm like, wait, Scotty Dub is the Jellyfish? You know, and it was like, yeah, this and that, because he responded to that. And I was like, oh, cool. And I was like, oh, cool. And he was, well, we're not really doing the Jellyfish stuff anymore. It's more of like a country acoustic bluesy thing.
Hey, quick question. What shirt size you wear?
XL, usually.
What's your favorite color?
Blue. Blue or black?
All right.
Bruise colors.
Jump cut. We're back. So, before the break, I was asking him about shirt size and favorite color because we were talking about Scotty Dub. And some of you know, Scotty Dub made these. Hey! Scotty made these. Bink. Bink. So, this option, just room 6 on the front. Okay? Or R6 and then room 6 on the back. You can also get R6 and room 6.
Can't beat that.
On the mugs. And my shameless plug for merch because I want to help the scene, damn it. Oh, yes. Last question. We're almost done.
Yeah?
You made it. Let's pretend we're talking to new musicians.
Oh.
It is. But in this case, unlike a band, we're going to talk to them like, I'm a musician, I want to be on a record label, or I want to book shows, or, all the things you've done.
Yeah.
Well, you can give one piece of advice to new musicians to get their music out there. What would it be?
Don't expect anything from a label or anyone else. Do it yourself. I have bands that show up to me and always, what will you do? I won't do a goddamn thing personally.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to want it first. How bad do you want it?
Now, it used to be, if I'm understanding the game right, the bigger record labels, it used to be, we want to record you, we're going to put you out, we're going to do all the stuff, but we keep most of the money.
They keep an average label. If you're on a good label that paid you well, you're lucky to get 30%.
Yeah, and you get that like all up front a lot of times.
Yeah,
because they knew you were going to blow it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's crazy. It's
also there's rights. Like we own your stuff forever.
Yep,
that kind of thing. And a lot of us have heard of the horror stories of like Prince.
Yep,
the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yep,
Nirvana. McCartney, Michael Jackson, but on the local level. You still got to bring something to the table. You still have to, go out there and play the Two Drunks and a Bartender. Yep. Do the shows.
If you play between 1 and 1 million people, play the same show. Give it the best. Like, give it 150% every time. If there's the bartender, play for the bartender. But if you play at a sold-out arena, fucking play the same.
I always felt that I was giving a better, I always made sure I gave a better performance when it was fewer people.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this one's for you, John.
Well, sometimes that makes the best show. Where you're like, and you just made that dude's night. Because even if you've never seen you before, you're some famous band that just came there and called out that guy.
Especially if you're from Vegas, and you're like in, I don't know, Pahrump or, California somewhere. But every show should be a show.
Yep.
It shouldn't, even if it feels like it, if you want to, it's a business, and you need to treat it like it's your job, but you also need to not make it look like it's your job.
Yeah. If you're bored, quit. As soon as you hate it, quit. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's the biggest thing I want for bands is like, as soon as you get overwhelmed, tired, pissy, I hate my life here, don't do it anymore.
The casino cover band stare.
Yeah.
We've all seen it. You're just like, Brown Eyed Girl again, Mustang Sally.
Yep.
Whatever the top 40 hit is that is popular right now. Here we go. And the singer is doing their job and jumping around.
Yep.
But the bass player is...
Yeah, he's even though he's
checked
probably
out.
a jazz or funk master, and he's going...
Yeah. Every so often, there's that song that that highlights the certain, like... And they'll like... And you're just like, oh, he came to life.
Yeah.
Because he knew that was his moment.
I will say that happened when I saw Smash Mouth, and like watching him... So warm up was like... everywhere. And then he got on the stage and it was...
Right, because that's what people want.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, if you're an original band, you don't have to like play what you want.
Yeah.
Because nobody expects anything from you.
Yeah, that's 100%.
And I mean that in positive and negative. Literally. I always embraced it as the positive of if I screw up the lyrics, nobody knows.
Yeah.
As long as I keep making noise.
Right.
You know?
You could just be adding stuff to the show anyway. A lot of people never know. Like if you just improv it right there, just...
Oh, my favorite thing to do, especially with covers, because but every time you'd hear somebody in the band make a mistake, just kind of look over at them, be like,
Yep.
you just be like, hey, I saw it, I caught you.
Yep.
But yeah, one other thing. What is the next show that's coming up for your label?
August 20th, actually. We are showcasing a show with Law, who is Bradley Noel's son, Jacob Noel.
Oh, yeah.
His band is headlining, but we have One Way to Paradise, we have Scotty Dub, there's a bunch of other bands on the bill. But,
sounds like something for everyone.
Hey. Yeah, we're doing that there over at Backstage Bar and Billiards, so it should be a pretty awesome show, which I'm quite excited about.
Just saw a show over there. It hasn't changed since quarantine.
Nope.
Like, before quarantine and after quarantine, exactly the same.
Yep, you mean they're always out of booze?
Hey... 40% of your merch?
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, no, just you walk in and you're like, I don't know what I expected, but something, it is exactly the same. Whereas Dive Bar changed.
Yeah.
I went and saw Crimson right there for the Glitter Trash show, and I was just like, barricades?
Yeah.
What kind of show is this?
Yeah.
But also, it was just like, there was less stuff on the walls. The bike was gone off the wall.
Well, the stage is bigger, barricades, although...
Oh yeah, there was a proper sound booth.
Bar.
Yeah, it was a venue. It was a venue instead of just a...
But the same old terrible sound guy.
No, he's gone. The Scottish guy's gone. He
really?
retired. Yeah,
wow.
he quit.
Maybe
or he retired.
did.
They have a couple of young people, a guy and a girl.
He was there right before that, so maybe...
Well, they have a guy and a girl, at least that night,
Yep.
with iPads
Mm-hmm.
doing the sound. And I was just like, wow. So we're pretty much done. We don't have a performance this time, but I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Once again, Josh Coutts,
Yep.
Mixed Tape Records. And if you have any questions for him, by all means, throw it in the comments. I'll make sure he gets them. Definitely make sure you subscribe down there. You know what to do. If you want to see more videos like this, click up here. If you'd like to be on the channel, whether a review or an interview, definitely hit the email in the comments.
Yep.
Remember to be amazing, and we'll see you next time on Room 6. Say goodbye, Josh.
Goodbye, Josh.
Nice.
I don't front. I don't front. So what you gonna do when the people go home and you wanna smoke weed but the reefer's all gone? Somebody had enough to take the herb out of my doobie ashtray. Why they do me that way? What you gonna do when the people go home and you wanna take a beer but the end's all gone? Somebody had enough to take the herb out of my doobie ashtray. Why they do it that way?
Yo, why the fuck they take the road? Check my doobie ashtray. I be tryna hit the blunt, he don't wanna pass me. He was rolling up at night, he don't even ask me. And if you crept up in my room, he was sneaking past me. But I did it cause this shit's so stressful. And I don't have it all together, but I pretend to. I can only speak my life through the pencil. The reefer hit my mind, help me fix it, my mental.
And I wonder why?
And Scotty Dub just got me high. Cause yo, I can't find my stash. And I never got the time to ask
So
myself.
what you gonna do when the people go home and you wanna smoke weed but the reefer's all gone? Somebody had enough to take the herb out of my doobie ashtray. Why they do it that way? What you gonna do when the people go home and you wanna take a beer but the end's all gone? Somebody had enough to take the herb out of my doobie ashtray. Why they do it that way? I'm in the car with my homies rolling up. We acting
suck. Get out my way, I don't need nobody's luck. And I've been on the low for 30 days, feeling rough. I broke up with my girl and I know that I'm still fucked up. I almost blew my brains out, but my homies came clutch. I be rolling up the perfect papers with the crush. And I wonder, why? Ivy got me so damn high, cause I couldn't find my stash. And I never had the time to ask. I said,
So what you gonna do when the people go home and you wanna smoke weed, but the reefer's all gone? Somebody had enough to take the herb out of my doobie ashtray. Why they do it that way? What you gonna do when the people go home and you wanna take a beer, but the end's all gone? Somebody had enough to take the herb out of my doobie ashtray. Why they do it that way?
it's hard to be the reefer chiefer, but I'm pulling through. And you can see us through the smoke, I guess we bulletproof. My vibes are rocking, Scotty got it, we popping off. We made it happen, no capping, I guess we got a lot. A lot of weed, a lot of drink, a lot of silly bitches. I set an example for my family, had to really get it. I'm trying to show the whole world how the city living. They tried to block me from my blessings, but I'm getting lifted. I wonder, why? We resort to getting high, cause yo, I can't find my stash. And I never get the time to ask myself,
What you gonna do when the people go home and you wanna smoke weed, but the reefer's all gone? Somebody had enough to take the herb out of my doobie ashtray. Why they do it that way? What you gonna do when the people go home and you wanna take a beer, but the end's all gone? Somebody had enough to take the herb out of my doobie ashtray. Why they do it that way? Why they do it that way? I don't front. No, I don't front. I don't front. No. I don't front.
Riding downtown on my bicycle too fast. I really hope I don't crash or fall, 'cause I might see you. When you're laughing, you're loving with somebody new, and you might see me when I'm rolling downtown in my misery. Riding downtown, got the wind in my face, and I feel if I was fast I'd be in outer space where you won't see me unless you tune in to Nova or Discovery, and I won't see you 'cause I've broken down my telescope. I got one chance left in a box full of hope. I got angels singing from coast to coast, and I still cannot cope. No, I still cannot cope. I'm a rise downtown. Chains and spokes and fingertips, cold wind on these dirty lips. So I ride and ride, but I can't breathe.